next guest is Emmy-winning actor with a new movie alongside Robert De Niro and his real-life partner, Rose Byrne. It's called Ezra. It opens in theaters Friday. Please welcome Bobby Cannavale.
A kettle of hawks.
What's that? A kettle. A kettle of hawks. Well, let's hope not. I think one hawk is enough for our house.
I had that same experience.
Did you really?
Yeah, in Australia with a kookaburra.
Really?
Yeah, and that's a big bird, bro.
How big is a kookaburra?
It's big, like the head is big. And you know, I'm an American, so we don't have those birds here.
Right. Well, you were in a hotel room or in a house?
No, we were in a house in Australia, and it got stuck on the terrace, and it couldn't figure out, like, the glass, you know?
The glass. They don't know glass.
Same thing with the broom.
There needs to be more education for birds about glass.
Yeah, Rose ran and got me the broom, right?
She did, yeah.
My job.
Mm-hmm, that's right. It's your job, yeah. No question about it.
I will never forget it, though. And I'm afraid of birds.
Yeah, because they're unpredictable,
yeah. So I'm always, like, ducking and hurting my neck, like avoiding a pigeon or something.
Yeah, they come at you and they have no regard for you.
No, they don't care.
Yeah, we got to get rid of the birds. That's all there is to it.
Yeah.
You, by the way, you traveled from New York. I think this is interesting to be on this show. A big part of the plot of the movie that you're in is traveling from New York to be on this show.
That's right.
Yeah.
I appreciate you flying me.
And the movie, by the way,
drive.
you did a great job in the movie.
Thank
and the
you.
movie is a beautiful movie. It's
Thank you.
really touching and funny and all of those good things. You play a stand-up comedian.
Yeah.
Did you base that on anyone in particular, comedy-wise?
I mean, a little bit. I was, you know, Bill Burr's a good friend. I have a lot of good comic friends, and I was working with Bill when I was sort of getting this movie ready. And so I went and I hung out with Bill a lot, and he gave me a great tip. He said, you know, it doesn't matter if the jokes are funny in the movie. What matters is that your personality's authentic and that the guy up there is going through something. So that was like a great tip from a stand-up comic actor or somebody I respect a lot.
Yeah, and then you work with this young man who is he's really great in the movie. His name's William Fitzgerald.
He's awesome.
He's on the spectrum.
Yeah.
He plays a kid who is on the spectrum, your son. He was here, actually.
I saw him,
studio.
in the studio with Tony, right?
Yes, with Tony Goldwyn, your director. We had a lot of fun with him. And your dad is Robert De Niro.
Yeah.
Which is not the first time you worked with him.
No, I worked with him in The Irishman, but it went much better this time, you know. It's not that it didn't go well the first time, but the first time, you know, like everybody was in that movie, you know, Joe Pesci.
Right, yeah.
Harvey Keitel, all these guys, and Al, of course. And we had a scene. It was Ray Romano and I, and Joe Pesci and Bob De Niro, and Marty came over and he was like, okay, I'm going to start the camera on you guys, and I'm going to pan over to them. So you guys just have a conversation about nothing. I don't care what it's about. That's not the important conversation. We're going to go over to them, and that's the important conversation. And then you guys just mime, and then I'll come back to you, and you pick up the conversation. We're like, okay. And so Ray's like, I don't know what we're doing. And so they got it on us, and so we're talking about some, you know, BS, and then it pans over to Bob and Joe, and like, it's the most amazing scene you've ever seen in your life. And Ray and I are just staring at them. Like, we're supposed to be talking, and I turn back, and Ray's going, can you believe it? I'm like, I can't believe it. Finally, Joe goes, what the guy's talking about? And we're like, and then you hear cut, and then we ended up not making that scene. Like, completely cut out. So I did much better this time.
That's good. You had that test run with Scorsese.
Yeah. You can't watch Bob while you're acting with him, or else you're just done. You know?
Do you ever get out? I mean, you have to get out of that mindset where it's like, oh my God, this is Robert De Niro.
Yeah. You know who helped me actually with that is the kid. The kid doesn't care.
Doesn't care, right?
He doesn't care. He doesn't care about Bob. He calls him De Niro to his face. Bob tries to talk to him, and he's like, you know, he could care less. He wants to go to craft service. He doesn't. So I think that's the way to be. You just gotta relax. You know, the kid really taught me a lot, and it was a thrill, though. Yeah, I would come home and really like, the impact of working with Bob all day would hit me then.
Yeah, sure. Yeah. Now, what carries a greater impact, working with Bob or working with Guillermo? Because you did work with both great actors.
Guillermo was so good in our movie. He was so good. He put all that weight on. You know, he was
No, he didn't put the weight on. That's how I request.
normal.
He sometimes tries to lose weight, and I ask him to please stop.
So,
it was really, really fun. You guys were so great to help us
By the
out.
way, I want to ask you about something because I get this every once in a while, and this is the weirdest. The AARP magazine, there's an interview with you in AARP. Now, how old are you?
I'm not old enough to be on the AARP
young.
magazine. I don't think.
You're younger than
But
I
I've been
am.
getting those letters for a while. I'm 54.
Oh, yeah, I think they're trying to just get more money or something because they're expanding lower and it's insulting is what it is.
Yeah.
It's disturbing, not insulting.
Yeah. And then, it was weird because I was like, why am I going to do an interview for AARP? And they were like, oh, it's really good. It's a good audience. And I was like, okay, all right, I'll do it. And then, as I started thinking about it, I was like, well, why aren't I on the cover?
Oh, you weren't on the cover, yeah.
Not on the cover.
Who was on the cover? Some 26-year-old
Yeah,
or something?
probably. Somebody younger, yeah. But yeah, I did
But
it.
you mentioned and the reason I bring this up is because you mentioned that you regularly, on a weekly basis, go to a Russian bathhouse.
Well, I go to the Russian bathhouse, which is on East 10th Street. It's been there for 125 years.
It's called the Russian, or it's just thought
the
of
10th Street
as
baths.
the. I see.
It's been there forever. It's like a Russian, it's a Russian bath. It's been there since the late 1800s and.
The late 1800s.
Yeah, dude, it's been there forever.
Does it smell like it's been there for the late?
Well, I always go when it opens because it's a better smell.
Okay.
And I always try to go when it opens, and I always try to go with a friend or two because, or else I'm just nonstop just saying, take it easy, because people just want to talk to you, and it's a weird place to
you're
get
naked?
into a conversation because you're half naked.
Yeah,
and,
right. Yeah.
So, but I love it, man. I never regretted it.
I've heard about these places. Do they beat you with branches at the?
Yeah, the
these things?
Platska, you can do that. Yeah, where they beat
You don't do
with
that?
the leaves. I have done it. It's pretty good.
Is it?
Yeah, and it's everything. It's now people do it and they do it in fancy places like at spas and whatnot. But it's
not
really
the
it's just
beating
the original.
part, though. I haven't seen the beating at a nice
No, I don't
spa.
think so. But like the cold plunge, for instance, it's like an ice cold pool.
Yeah.
And then there's the Russian room, which is like 160 degrees. It's so hot and it's incredible. And I always feel great afterwards. I love going there.
So people can go and see and be naked with you at this place that we just named.
Yeah, come by. Yeah.
Yeah.
I usually go between 12 o'clock when it opens, and then I go and I pick the kids up from school, and I get through that 5 o'clock,
How are the kids? I know
great.
last time you told me they were really into Titanic, into the
Yeah, my
Titanic.
8-year-old was into Titanic, and now he's into basketball. Thank God. I have 3 sons, and I finally have a son who's into sports. So he's into basketball. We call him the blanket because he's incredible off-the-ball defense. He's just
really?
all over
The
you.
blanket?
Blanket.
Oh.
And then the other one wants me to get him. He wants me to get him into a class where he said to me the other day, he goes, "Can I take a class where I fight other kids?" So I'm like racking my brain trying to figure that one out.
That's called class. That's called school. That's called recess.
I think he means like a self-defense thing because I was like, "How about Taekwondo?" He goes, "Nah, that's just standing in a line. I want to go."
You know what? Just teach them some Russian curse words. Take them to the
Take him to
bath.
baths.
And let the men chase them around with branches.
Yeah.
Well, it's great to see you. The movie is called Ezra. It opens in theaters Friday. Bobby Cannavale, everybody. Be back with Nikki.